Hey everyone, welcome back. We've had a lot of requests for this one, a deep dive into education and the business world, specifically entrepreneurship.
Oh, yeah. Lots of interest in this one.
And the book we're looking at this time is The Business World and What School Did Not Teach You About Business by Titus Mirieri.
It's a good one.
This guy does not hold back.
Yeah.
He's got a lot to say.
Yeah, he's definitely got some strong opinions about the whole education system, almost like he feels a bit betrayed by it?
Yeah, he definitely doesn't pull any punches.
Like he's saying we were given all these tools, but for a world that doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah, he uses this analogy of imagine if you were taught to fight with arrows and swords in the 21st century.
That's a good one.
That's how out of touch he thinks education is.
It really does capture the heart of his argument. The world is changing so fast, and education is just not keeping up.
Right.
Think about it. Technology is automating jobs left and right. Globalization is reshaping entire industries.
Right.
And the gig economy is changing how we even think about work. That old promise of, good grades equals stable job, good money.
Right.
It's just not a guarantee anymore.
No. And Mirieri's argument is that schools are still kind of stuck in that old way of thinking.
Yeah.
Churning out employees instead of fostering the kind of skills and mindsets that you need to be an entrepreneur,
Right.
which are increasingly important in this new landscape.
Definitely. You need to be able to adapt, to be flexible, to think outside the box.
So what should schools be focused on instead?
Mm-hmm.
He has this concept of a wealth-attracting mind.
Yeah, it's about so much more than just getting a job and a paycheck.
Okay.
It's about really understanding how money works, how to manage it, how to invest it, ultimately how to create wealth for yourself.
Okay.
Like a magnet for opportunities. The more you understand about business and finance,
Yeah.
the more opportunities you attract.
He uses some really interesting examples, like people who are wildly successful entrepreneurs, but didn't necessarily follow that traditional academic path.
Oh, yeah. He loves those stories.
Like people like Dan Goad, Zuckerberg,
Yeah.
Jobs, all these people who were self-taught and driven and willing to take risks.
Exactly. And that really ties into what we now call a growth mindset, right?
Okay.
It's that belief that you can constantly learn and adapt. You see challenges as opportunities.
Right.
And even failure is just a part of the process.
Yeah. But how much is formal education still important?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Right.
It's not about saying throw away your degree, but maybe it's time to think beyond it. How can we make education more adaptable, more focused on those skills that are truly valuable in a world that's changing faster than we can even imagine?
He makes this really powerful statement that even someone with a PhD can be illiterate if they can't keep educating themselves in this rapidly evolving world.
It's a wake-up call for all of us to be lifelong learners.
For sure.
Absolutely. And that self-education, that drive to keep learning and growing,
Yeah.
that's at the core of what he believes is essential for success, especially in the business world.
But he doesn't just stop at self-education. He goes on to talk about the power of belief,
Yes.
arguing that anyone can be an entrepreneur if they have the right mindset and are willing to take risks.
Right. It's amazing how much our beliefs actually shape our reality.
Right.
If you believe you can't, you probably won't. But if you believe in your potential, it opens up a whole world of possibilities.
He even suggests that just expressing faith and encouraging kids can actually spark those entrepreneurial dreams early on.
It's fascinating, like planting a seed.
Right. So it's not just about believing in yourself. He also talks about the importance of doing things differently, standing out from the crowd.
Yeah, he loves that, being different.
He's a big advocate for what he calls spying on your competition.
Spying.
Yeah, he's all about meticulous market research, like really studying your competitors, not to copy them, but to figure out what they're doing well, where they're falling short,
Right.
and how you can create a business that excels in those areas.
Finding those gaps, those opportunities.
It's about finding your unique value proposition right.
Exactly. That special something that sets you apart.
That makes you stand out.
Yeah, he actually gives a great example from his own company, Triple T Merchants. They used a really unique Facebook strategy to outperform competitors that had way bigger followings.
It's interesting how they focused on providing valuable content, engaging with their audience. That ultimately led to greater success than just trying to amass followers.
It's a great lesson. It's not just about being different. It's about being strategic.
Right.
What makes you stand out? Why should people choose you?
Right.
Questions every entrepreneur should be asking themselves.
And he doesn't stop at just individual effort. He talks about the importance of teamwork. He believes that you can achieve so much more by working with a team.
Oh, absolutely. Collaboration is key.
Think about some of those iconic partnerships.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Gates and Allen, Jobs and Wozniak. So many examples of how collaboration has led to these incredible breakthroughs.
because it allows you to combine different strengths, overcome limitations, create something truly remarkable together.
He also challenges readers to shift their thinking about money.
Oh, yeah, this is interesting.
It's not just about working for a paycheck. It's about finding ways to manufacture money.
That's a really intriguing concept. He really wants people to think bigger.
Yeah.
Most of us are used to trading time for money, right?
Right.
But he wants us to think about creating something once that can then generate income, even when we're not actively working.
Uh-huh.
He uses examples like Bill Gates' software, one creation that continues to generate revenue even though he's not physically writing code every single day.
So instead of just working more hours, you need to be thinking about building something that can work for you even while you sleep.
Exactly. He's hinting at concepts like passive income, scalability.
But Mirieri also acknowledges that this path isn't always easy. He uses this really interesting analogy of childbirth.
Oh, yes, vivid.
He talks about the pain, the risk, the immense effort involved.
But then he flips it.
But then he flips it right and talks about the incredible joy and reward that comes after.
Exactly.
So it's a powerful reminder that anything truly worthwhile takes effort, takes risk.
Embrace the journey, the ups and the downs.
Yeah.
Growth often comes after periods of intense effort.
So it's about developing that resilience, that ability to bounce back from setbacks, to learn from your mistakes.
And those are qualities that are essential for everyone, not just entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. So it's about more than just starting a business or making money. It's about developing a certain mindset, a way of approaching challenges and opportunities.
Exactly. It's about cultivating that entrepreneurial spirit, that drive to create, to innovate, to solve problems, and to make a difference in the world. It's true he doesn't give you like a step-by-step guide,
Right.
but he does give you those valuable clues about how to approach this whole manufacturing money idea.
Okay.
It's really about shifting your focus from trading time for money
Right.
to creating assets that generate income on their own.
Okay, so instead of just working more hours, you need to be thinking about building something.
Yes.
That can work for you even while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
But what kinds of things are we talking about here?
That's where it gets really interesting. He points to examples like Bill Gates' software or even Michael Jackson's music albums.
Okay.
These are things that were created once,
Right.
but they continue to generate income long after that initial work is done.
So it's not just about creating something, it's about creating something that can be replicated or scaled
Yes.
without requiring constant effort on your part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's hinting at concepts like passive income and scalability.
Okay.
Think about an online course or an ebook.
Okay.
You create it once, and then it can potentially generate income for years.
Right. Or a system you build within a business
Yes.
that automates certain tasks and increases efficiency.
Exactly.
Okay, that definitely sounds more appealing than constantly trading hours for dollars.
Right.
But Mirieri also acknowledges that this path isn't always easy.
No, it's not. He uses that rather vivid analogy of childbirth.
He does, yeah.
All that pain, the risk, the immense effort.
Yeah.
But then he flips it and emphasizes the incredible joy and reward that come after.
Okay.
It's a reminder that anything truly worthwhile takes effort, often involves some level of risk.
I get the analogy, but I don't know, I feel like it might alienate some listeners.
Maybe.
Not everyone has experienced childbirth.
That's a good point. Maybe a more universal metaphor would be climbing a mountain.
I like that.
It's challenging. There are setbacks along the way,
Right.
but the view from the top, that sense of accomplishment, makes it all worthwhile.
So it's about embracing the journey,
Yeah.
the ups and the downs,
Right.
recognizing that growth often comes after these periods of intense effort, sometimes even pain.
Precisely.
Oh, okay.
He's essentially saying that we need to develop that resilience, that ability to bounce back from setbacks, to learn from our mistakes, and to keep moving forward, even when things get tough.
And honestly, those qualities are essential for anyone, not just entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
So it's about more than just starting a business or making money. It's about developing a certain mindset,
Yes.
a way of approaching challenges and opportunities.
Exactly. It's about cultivating that entrepreneurial spirit, that drive to create, to innovate, to solve problems, and to make a difference in the world.
He seems to be pretty critical of the traditional education system.
In some ways, yes.
He talks about how it can sometimes stifle creativity and independent thinking, focusing more on conformity and obedience than on developing the skills that people actually need to thrive in today's world.
You're right. He's concerned that schools are still too focused on preparing people for jobs
Right.
that might not even exist in a few years.
So are you saying that formal education is becoming irrelevant?
Not irrelevant, but maybe it's time to rethink its purpose. It's about asking ourselves what skills and knowledge will be truly valuable in a future that we can't even fully predict. Perhaps it's less about memorizing facts and more about learn how to adapt, how to think critically, how to solve problems, and how to create.
So it's not about throwing away the textbooks. It's about finding ways to make education more relevant to the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that ties back to what Mirieri keeps emphasizing, the importance of continuous learning.
Right.
He's all about seeking out knowledge, expanding your skills, never stopping growing. That's what will make you truly rich, in
Yeah.
the broadest sense of the word.
I like how he uses that term rich.
Yeah.
It's not just about financial wealth.
No.
It's about having a wealth of knowledge, skills, and experiences.
It's about having the freedom to choose how you want to live your life, to pursue your passions, to make a positive impact on the world. That's true wealth.
He shares some pretty stark examples of how technology is disrupting traditional jobs,
Oh, yeah.
even those that once seemed so secure. He mentions the banking industry
Oh, yeah.
and how ATMs and online banking have dramatically reduced the need for human tellers.
He describes walking into a bank
Right.
and wondering if there will even be any tellers left in a decade.
Right.
It's a powerful image. It highlights the pace of change we're experiencing and the need to adapt.
But isn't that a bit pessimistic? Don't new technologies also create new jobs?
Of course they do, but those new jobs often require different skills and knowledge than the ones being replaced.
Okay.
Mirieri's point is that we need to be proactive. We need to anticipate these changes and prepare ourselves for the jobs of the future, not the jobs of the past.
So it's not just about learning new skills. It's about developing a mindset that embraces change and sees opportunity and disruption.
Exactly. It's about being adaptable, resourceful,
Yeah.
and constantly learning. He even goes as far as to say that if you can't educate yourself, you're illiterate, even if you have a PhD.
Wow. Okay. That's a pretty bold statement.
It is. But it underscores his belief
Hmm.
that the responsibility for our own education ultimately lies with ourselves.
Right.
We can't just rely on the traditional system to prepare us for everything life throws our way.
So it's about taking ownership of our learning,
Yes.
seeking out knowledge,
Yes.
and constantly expanding our skill set.
Exactly. It's about being proactive, embracing the idea that learning is a lifelong journey. And, that leads us to another fascinating point Mirier makes,
Yeah.
this whole concept of security
Okay.
and how it shifted in the modern world.
He actually argues that the idea of job security is a lie, doesn't he?
He does. He believes that in today's world, clinging to that illusion of job security can actually make you more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Companies downsize, industries shift,
Yeah.
technologies disrupt entire sectors. He even shares this rather chilling anecdote about a company
Oh, yeah.
that laid off a large number of employees simply by having a manager call and list the few who were being retained.
Wow.
And even that manager was later let go.
It's a stark reminder that no job is truly safe in today's world.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that ties back to his emphasis on entrepreneurship and self-reliance.
Right.
He's not saying everyone needs to start a business, but he is encouraging people to develop those skills and mindsets
Okay.
that make them more adaptable and resilient.
So instead of clinging to the false promise of job security, we should be focusing on developing our own skills,
Yeah.
creating our own opportunities, and becoming more adaptable to change.
Exactly. And Mirieri has some interesting thoughts about how our beliefs about work and success are often shaped by the traditional education system.
Okay.
He's pretty critical of how schools prioritize obedience and conformity over creativity and independent thinking. It's like he's saying that schools inadvertently train people to be good employees rather than innovative entrepreneurs.
Right.
He even questions why schools continue to emphasize job preparation
Yeah.
when jobs are becoming increasingly scarce and unstable. He thinks we need to be having a broader conversation about the purpose of education in the 21st century.
So if education isn't just about job preparation, what should it be focused on? What kind of education would truly prepare people for a future that's constantly changing?
That's a question worth pondering. Maybe it's about fostering creativity, problem solving, adaptability,
Hmm.
and a love of learning. Maybe it's about encouraging people to think for themselves, to challenge assumptions, and to embrace new ideas.
Mirieri seems to think that a big part of it is developing that wealth-attracting mind he keeps talking about.
Right.
But what does that really mean? He throws the term around a lot, but I'm not sure I fully grasp it.
Well, he describes it as a mindset that is focused on abundance, opportunity, and creative problem solving. It's about seeing possibilities where others see limitations and having the confidence to pursue those possibilities.
So it's not just about knowing how to manage money, it's about developing a certain attitude, a
Yes,
belief in your own ability to create wealth and attract opportunities.
exactly.
Great.
He uses examples of successful entrepreneurs who started with very little,
Right.
but achieved great things because of their unwavering belief in themselves and their vision.
So it's about having that entrepreneurial spirit,
Yes.
that drive to create, to innovate, to solve problems, and to never give up on your dreams.
And, he even suggests that those entrepreneurial dreams can be sparked early on, just through encouragement and belief. He
Mhm.
talks about the power of having role models and mentors
Okay.
who believe in you
Right.
and inspire you to pursue your passions.
So it's about nurturing that entrepreneurial spirit in young people, showing them that anything is possible if they set their minds to it and are willing to put in the work.
Absolutely. And it's not just about starting businesses.
Right.
It's about encouraging that mindset of creativity, innovation, and problem solving, which are valuable in any field, any endeavor.
Mirieri also talks about the importance of thinking differently,
Yeah.
of challenging conventional wisdom,
Hmm.
and of not being afraid to stand out from the crowd.
Definitely.
He seems to think that conformity can be a real killer of creativity and innovation.
He does. He uses the example of his own company, Triple T Merchants, and how they achieve success by doing things differently than their competitors. They focus on providing valuable content and building relationships with their customers, rather than just trying to sell products.
It's a reminder that sometimes the best way to stand out is to focus on genuinely helping your customers
Yes,
and providing them with real value.
exactly.
Okay.
It's about building trust and relationships, not just chasing quick sales.
He also talks about the importance of learning from others,
Yeah,
of seeking out mentors, and of surrounding yourself with people who can support and challenge you.
absolutely.
He even goes so far as to say that you can't be truly rich with just your own two hands.
He does.
You need to learn how to leverage the skills and talents of others.
That's a really interesting point. He's emphasizing the importance of collaboration, of recognizing that we don't have to do everything ourselves, and that seeking out expertise in areas where we might be weaker can actually accelerate our success.
So it's about building a strong team, about finding people who complement your skills and who share your vision.
Exactly. And that leads us to another fascinating aspect of Murieri's philosophy,
Yeah.
his ideas about the relationship between money and happiness. He seems to think that simply accumulating wealth isn't enough.
He even challenges the traditional definition of success, suggesting that it's not just about achieving financial goals, but about living a fulfilling and meaningful life.
It's about defining success on your own terms and creating a life that is aligned with your values and priorities. It's about having the freedom to choose how you want to live your life, to pursue your passions, and to make a positive impact on the world.
He seems to be advocating for a more holistic view of success,
Yes,
one that encompasses both material and non-material aspirations.
exactly. And,
Wow.
he encourages readers to really think about what truly matters to them
Yeah.
and to make choices that support their overall well-being, not just their financial bottom line.
He also talks about the importance of having a strong sense of purpose, of
Yes.
knowing why you're doing what you're doing. He seems to think that having a clear sense of purpose can fuel our motivation and resilience, especially when faced with challenges.
He believes that purpose gives meaning to our efforts
Yeah.
and helps us to stay focused on the bigger picture.
Right.
He encourages readers to identify their passions, their values, and their unique contributions to the world.
So it's about finding your why,
Yes.
your reason for being,
Yeah.
and aligning your actions with that purpose.
He believes that this is the key to living a fulfilling and impactful life, both personally and professionally.
He certainly provides a lot of food for thought in this book.
He does.
It's a really interesting blend of practical advice, philosophical insights, and personal anecdotes. It's not just a business book. It's a book about life,
Hmm.
about finding your path, and about creating a life that is both successful and meaningful.
Absolutely. It's like he's saying it's not enough to just think about starting any business.
Right.
You really have to dive into the WHY behind it.
Okay.
He thinks too many people get stuck, trapped in that cycle of just working for money,
Right.
losing sight of what really matters.
Yeah, he actually compares it to being in a maze,
Oh, yeah.
constantly chasing that next paycheck but never finding the exit.
He does. It's a pretty bleak picture, but he offers a way out.
Okay.
He challenges us to shift our thinking from working for our money
Okay.
to manufacturing money.
We touched on this earlier.
Yeah.
With examples like Bill Gates and Michael Jackson.
Oh, right.
But how do we actually do that?
Well, that's where it gets really practical.
Okay.
He talks about building assets that work for you, like creating an online course or writing an ebook or developing a product that can be sold repeatedly.
Okay.
It's about leveraging your skills and knowledge to create something that can generate income, even when you're not directly involved.
So it's about building systems, automating processes,
Yeah,
creating something that can scale beyond just our own individual efforts.
exactly. It's about thinking bigger, being more strategic, and focusing on creating assets that can generate income over the long term. He even talks about the importance of investing in things that appreciate in value, like real estate or stocks.
It's not just about earning money, it's about making your money work for you.
Precisely.
Mm.
He wants us to break free from that mindset of constantly trading our time for money.
Right.
And start building systems that can generate income, even while we sleep.
That's a powerful idea. But Mirieri also acknowledges that achieving this level of financial freedom requires a certain mindset, a willingness to challenge conventional wisdom, and to embrace a different way of thinking.
Definitely. He actually calls school the smartest deceiver he's ever seen.
Whoa. Okay, that's a pretty strong statement. What does he mean by that?
He believes that the traditional education system can sometimes be more about conformity and obedience than about fostering true creativity and independent thinking.
Right.
He argues that it can actually discourage people from developing those entrepreneurial skills and mindsets that they need to succeed in the real world.
So he's not necessarily against education itself, but he's critical of how it's often structured and delivered.
Exactly. He's advocating for a more entrepreneurial approach to education, one that focuses on developing the skills and mindsets that are essential for success in today's rapidly changing world.
He even questions whether you can truly learn entrepreneurship from someone who's never actually been an entrepreneur themselves.
That's an interesting point. He seems to be suggesting that aspiring entrepreneurs need to learn from those who've actually walked the walk,
Yes.
experience the ups and downs of building a business firsthand.
Yeah, he's a big believer in mentorship, in learning from those who have made mistakes, overcome obstacles, and achieve success. It's about gaining those practical insights and guidance that you can't get from a textbook.
Right. It makes you wonder if there are ways to bridge that gap
Yeah.
between the theoretical world of academia
Right.
and the practical realities of the business world.
He certainly seems to think so. He's all about seeking out mentors, reading books written by successful entrepreneurs, attending seminars and workshops, immersing yourself in the world of business.
It's about being proactive, taking ownership of your own education,
Right.
seeking out knowledge and experiences that will help you grow and succeed.
So Mirieri's book isn't just a guide to starting a business. It's a call to action for anyone who wants to live a more fulfilling and meaningful life, whether they're an entrepreneur, an artist, a teacher, or anything else.
Exactly. He's reminding us that we all have that potential to create something extraordinary, to make a difference in the world, and to achieve a level of success that goes beyond just financial wealth.
He challenges us to question our assumptions, to embrace uncertainty, and to step outside of our comfort zones.
He inspires us to be lifelong learners,
Right.
to be adaptable, to be resilient,
Oh.
and to never give up on our dreams.
This has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of Titus Mirieri and his unique perspective on education, business, and success. It's clear that he has a lot to offer anyone who's looking to challenge the status quo, create their own opportunities, and live a more fulfilling and meaningful life.
His book is definitely worth checking out, along with some of those other resources he mentions. You never know what spark might ignite your own entrepreneurial fire.